Yo, what's going on, everybody? Y'all already know who it is. It's your favorite gamer girl, Crunker711, bringing y'all a new video today. I haven't been on camera in a couple of days, since E3? Well, really before E3. E3 week was crazy. I had mad stuff I had to do for conferences, writing articles, watching all the conferences. Like, E3 week was crazy. So, it's finally a week after E3. I'm actually gonna do another video right after this because got a game in the mail. But let's talk about Sony's conference. I'm gonna talk about everybody else's conference too. I'm gonna talk about everybody else's conference in one video, and I'll make Sony separate. In my opinion, I think Sony had the best conference out of everybody, but that's not saying that everybody did horrible. There's at least one game from every conference that I actually did like this year. And I'm actually surprised by that. Sometimes there's usually maybe a couple third-party games I may like, but there's actually one or two games from everybody's conference that I was excited for. But Sony, oh my God. Yo, Sony, if you listening, that's how you do a conference. Every E3, don't do no talking. Just let all the games that you got speak for you. So first off, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to just say my piece on what happened and what games I liked and some of them I didn't like. So first off, when it first came on, you hear this orchestra playing. And it was me, Bari, and my PlayStation 4 just updated. Me, Jay Bari, Persona. Persona wasn't there. Persona was at the experience at the theater. Vic, Ant. It was a lot of us in there. It was like at least a good 5-6 people that was up in there. Kev. But yeah. We start hearing this orchestra playing and this motherfucker. And all of us are listening like, yo, this sound like God of War. Is this God of War? But you really couldn't tell because they playing that shit about a good 10 minutes. So they starting off and they getting into it. And all of a sudden you see this little boy stop pop up on the screen. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, okay. Then all of a sudden you see him somebody say, boy, feed me. Throw him the little arrow and shit. I'm at the bow and arrow. And then you see Kratos come out of the shadows. Yo, when I tell you we was in here screaming, that was an epic ass moment. God of War is I think the number one game I saw this year for me. I've played all of them. God of War 3 I played, but I didn't finish it. But I'm thinking about actually going back and buying it because I think it's probably cheap now. I probably can get it for about probably at least $20. Going and beating it. But I played all the PS2 God of Wars. I didn't play PSP God of War. But yo, God of War looks fucking amazing. And they changed it. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with changing something if they're grasping for something new. Maybe the developers they wanted to see how they could change the narrative by changing the camera angles now. And we don't know what type of weapons we're going to be getting. We know it's I think it's Norse mythology now. So I'm wondering if they're going to have Odin and Thor and all those people in there. And are those the gods he's going to be killing now? I don't know. The little boy, I think he's supposed to be with you the whole time. So is it like a passing of the torch? But I was like, I don't know if that's true or not. Because I heard Kratos can't fucking die. Like, I mean, I don't know. Graphically, that game looks fucking amazing. It's a little bit more open. It kind of seems like more like a Tomb Raider feel where it's not open world, but it's open. It's more open than a God of War game has ever been. I heard there's no multiplayer this time around, so that's kind of good. I think they're putting everything in one basket, and that's it. Also, I think Kratos is still Kratos. It's not like no alternate universe and no shit like that. It's like mad years after he killed all the gods in God of War 3, and that he's in Scandinavia, and I guess they're gonna show how he got there. And yo, Kratos' face like he looked fucking old as shit, but he's still fucking niggas up. Like, yo, I can't wait to play this and learn more about the game. But yeah, yo, that was a great start, and I commend Sony because I didn't think they were gonna start like that. I thought they were gonna end with God of War 4, but they didn't. Um, Second game they showed, I called this, I called it, I called it, I called it. I've been saying, me and Barry been talking about this studio for about almost a good year. Like, where are they? And that is Sony Bend. We didn't know what they were doing. The last game they did was Uncharted Abyss, which is a PS Vita game. Um, and we were like, yo, where the hell have they been? Like, what are they working on? Like, nobody knows nothing. Only thing we heard was a name, and that was Dead Don't Ride. And in the last minute they changed the name. So it's called shit, what's the name of the damn game? Um, damn, I forgot the name of the damn game. Let me see, cause I can't remember the damn game. All I know is they changed the name like at the last minute, and I was like, yo, this shit looks fucking amazing. It looks good. You can tell it's in development. Oh, there it is. Days Gone. I'm sorry, Days Gone. Um, I'm a huge Sony Ben fan for the most part. The only reason why I'm a huge Sony Ben fan is because I am a huge Siphon Filter fan. I have played every single Siphon Filter, I think except for the PSP ones. Every single one that has hit the consoles, I have beat them. I have played them both forwards, backwards. Every Siphon Filter game you can think of, I've played that bitch except for the PSP game. I love Siphon Filter. Siphon Filter is my favorite franchise of all time and my favorite Sony franchise of all time. I love Siphon Filter. I wish they would make another one, but they're not. So I was hoping for it, but then after I heard about the Dead Don't Ride, I'm like, well, nah, that's not Siphon Filter. So yeah, they're trying a new IP, which is cool. It's a zombie type, open world type of game, bikers and shit like that. But they didn't show any gameplay when they showed the trailer for this game. They showed it at the end, but we're gonna talk about that. But I thought Days Gone looks pretty damn good. It has some stuttering and frame rate issues, but for the most part, for them just start, that was a tease. That was the first time they showed the game. I thought the game looked pretty damn good. And those hordes of whatever those things are called, them joints was that's the most zombies I've ever seen in a game. If they can get that shit to run like that, like run with like maybe running at 30 frames and lock it, yo, the Neo is probably where that game is gonna shine at. When they can get to lock it at 30 or try to go above 30 at an untapped frame rate. But by far the game looks dope, yo. I'm kind of excited because this is like their first huge game, you know what I'm saying, since I think before Siphon Filter, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they did the Resistance for the the PlayStation Portable, which is PSP. And before that, all they were doing was Siphon Filter. So yeah, man, this is like their first big AAA title since PS2. So I can't wait to see what they do with this title and learn more about it. So next up, we got Last Guardian. They got a release date. I think it's October the 25th or the 28th. I'm not sure. 25th or the 28th. But finally, and we got a little smidgen of new gameplay, which is good. We probably won't get more than that. And it was playable at the E3 behind closed doors. So we do know the game is actually playable. And it is coming, which I said that it was coming this year too. After I heard that they pushed back Horizon, I said, yeah, Last Guardian is dropping this year. And it's going to drop in just near the winter. It's dropping in October, and Gran Turismo is dropping in November. So there you go. I think that was the reason why Horizon was pushed back, because Last Guardian was coming. And they probably didn't have no way to fit Horizon in there anywhere to give it the breathing room that it needs. So February is when that's coming. Then after that, just set the game, Horizon. Horizon Zero Dawn had like a 10 to 12 minute video of gameplay. That game looks better and better every time I see it. It looks amazing. Love that game. And then I'm trying to think what all they showed. They showed that. And then I think they started off with VR. The VR trailers. They started with Resident Evil. And if y'all didn't know, those last four games I just said, all they started out with four exclusives, back to back to back to back. So we was in here screaming and hollering like, yo, like, where they are they gonna slow up? Like, they killing me right now. They showing like mad exclusive games. They ain't said nothing about third party. We didn't get no Destiny. Like, we was like, yo, where are the third party at? Because we was like, yo, I know they coming. Then they started showing this horror game, and me and my friends was like, oh, this the kitchen. This the kitchen. Then we find out it wasn't the kitchen. That's Resident Evil 7, and that people have been playing the kitchen or Resident Evil 7 for almost a year now and didn't even know it. Shouts out to my girl Timbo, because that was funny. She's been repping that kitchen demo for the longest, not knowing that it was Resident Evil 7. That was dope by a long shot. They showed another one, Fire. I think it was Firepoint. That looked kind of cool. We thought that was Destiny, but it's a PSVR game. Then they showed what else did they show that I thought was cool? They showed a Batman VR, which I heard was okay. It looked okay. Trying to look something up real quick because I know I'm missing the game. What am I missing? I'm missing something. I know they talked about that. They talked about Batman VR. Oh yeah. Yeah. What's the name of the dang game? They showed Star Wars Battlefront. They showed Final Fantasy VR, which looked meh. But that's the whole VR section. Not bad for the VR. You know what I'm saying? Not bad at all. But now we gonna talk about the one of the biggest surprises that I called it before the show. My boy Kev was like, "Oh," I was like, "Yo, we forgot about Kojima. Yo, Kojima might show up." It was like, "Oh no, it's too early. Kojima probably ain't even got nothing to show." And guess what happens? Andrew House walks on stage and introduces Hideo Kojima. I think that's how you say his name. Hideo Kojima. I was like, yo, Kojima, my nigga. I told you, Kev. I told you. I knew he was coming. I knew they was going to pull that Kojima card. And he came with a weird-ass trailer for Death Stranding. And when you saw Norman Reedus' face, like, come up and look, and he crying over this baby, and the baby got an umbilical cord. It looks like it's coming from his stomach. And people keep saying that it's a C-section, but I'm like, it's not a C-section. For people who have kids, you should be ashamed of yourself. The C-section in cut is at the bottom and not at the top. So I don't know. I gotta go figure out what the fuck that shit even meant. But it was a bizarre trailer, and it was a Hideo Kojima trailer by a long shot. Then we heard Crash. Like, we heard the music, and we was like, oh my god, Crash, I knew it, oh shit, Crash coming back. And we was like, oh, I don't know though, he might be in Skylanders. That was the huge thing. But Activision they pulled a fast one on us a little bit. This was a downer, but it was okay. We got Crash 1, Crash 2, and Crash 3 coming to PS4, I think exclusively. And they're going to be work from the ground up, which is good. I will buy those. I love Crash. I love, FYI, for people who haven't beat Uncharted 4. There was a Crash, I think it was Crash 1 in there, that you could actually play through. So, when I saw Crash, I'm like, yo, I knew that. I had a feeling it was coming. I knew it when they put it in the damn Uncharted 4 game. But I'm happy about this. But then we find out that Crash is in Skylanders, and he does not look good in Skylanders. But oh well. Activision just being petty. That was a downer, but Activision is being freaking petty. And then at the end, no, I missed one. How did I miss it? The game that everybody thought was a new game, and it was Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Soon as people saw Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, it was like, oh, I hate this damn game. I'm like, yo, you were liking that game before you knew it was Call of Duty. Stop it. So the Call of Duty name itself is just, it brings bad vibes. People like that gameplay until they saw Call of Duty on it. And I'm telling you, I was even liking it. I'm like, this looks interesting. And then I was like, hold up, is this Call of Duty? And then when I saw the dude shooting the gun and how the gun mechanics and stuff, I'm like, this shit looks alright. It's not. It don't look that bad. So for all you Call of Duty haters out there, you know you like that trailer. So you just don't like it now because it had Call of Duty at the end. You fake ass niggas. Alright. So the last thing they showed is SpiderMan, and it's not by Sucker Punch, which was kind of weird. That's what the rumor was, but it's by Insomniac. So I'm like, we haven't had a good Spider-Man game since PS2. So I'm looking forward to this. I love the Spider-Man games from the PS2 era. Those games were really good. Yo, but this trailer looked fucking amazing. This trailer looked fucking good, yo. And they were saying that some of that in that trailer was actual gameplay. Or I don't know actual gameplay in the sense of is it in-game engine, but it looked like gameplay, like when he was flying through that cafe outdoors and shit. That shit looked real. Like not real, but like gameplay wise. So I'm excited, and then my boy Barry voice turned into a female, man. He loved Spider-Man. He was like, oh my god, oh, Spider-Man. And I knew it was Spider-Man when they did the video where the city, and you know what I'm saying, how the city come in and how Spider-Man always come through the city, and the voice. I was like, that's Peter Parker. Oh my fucking god. Sony got goddamn Spider-Man back, and they making a movie. I mean, they're making a movie and they're making a game. And Marvel has creative control of it in working with Insomniac. And I love Insomniac. They make great games. Ratchet and Clank remake / reboot or whatever was a fucking fantastic game, and I really do need to make a review for that game because that game was a great game. But that was a great way to show that game, and I was like, yo, Insomniac? Like, that threw me for a loop. And then they showed Days Gone gameplay at the end of the show. So by far, I think this was the best conference we saw all E3 2016. The only thing about Sony's conference people always seem to hate is that they didn't show no release windows or release dates for any other games except for what? Resident Evil 7 VR comes out in January. Horizon Zero Dawn comes out in February. And The Last Guardian. Last Guardian drops in October. All the rest of the new games and stuff they showed did not show any release dates. So people were pissed off at that. But my thing is, when Sony does really have release dates and release windows and they get pushed back, then you mad. Then when they don't say nothing, then you mad because they didn't give you anything. Like, it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. So as a Sony fan, I know the games are coming. I'm not worried about it. They've been doing this since the PS2 era, and people say, oh no, they were. Yes, they were. They've been fucking, you didn't know when some of these fucking games was coming out. And they've been having these first party lineups for a long time, and they show you usually 1 or 2 years out before we even get to playing. It's nothing new, people. But I give this freaking conference a 9.5 out of 10. The only reason why I gave it that 0.5 is because of that Skylanders bullshit. But other than that, I thought the conference was pretty damn good. They didn't talk that much. And that's really what be killing Sony. They talk too fucking much on their freaking conferences. They didn't talk about numbers. They didn't even talk about the Neo, which they said they wasn't going to talk about, so I'm not going to X them for that because they said they weren't going to talk about it before E3 even came. They didn't talk about third party that much. They didn't even have that much third party. Like, Resident Evil 7 is third party, but that VR game, I think that's exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. They showed Call of Duty. I think that's third party, and I think Skylanders, and I think that's it. They didn't talk about Destiny, what I thought they was going to talk about. So for the first party content and they even ended the show early. They usually be like pushing the show out to like over 2 hours. They didn't even do that this time around. They only had one nostalgic thing, like people were saying last year because they went off nostalgia. They only showed Last Guardian release date, and they didn't even show a full-fledged trailer for that. They only showed like maybe a 10-second trailer for that, showing you that it was coming out this year, and Crash. That's about it. Everything else was pretty much new games. And they gave the price for the PSVR is going to be $399. So, and they gave her October, I think 13th. I think the beginning of October is when it's going to drop. So for all the people who love PSVR, there you go. So anyways, that was my wrap up or review for the PlayStation E3 conference. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I feel like they solidified that this year was going to be about games a long time ago. And the Neo, I think, is not coming out this year. I think it's coming out next year, but I may be wrong. Um, they won with games, and Microsoft talked about mostly hardware and games that they showed last year. So that's one of the reasons why I was like, I don't know. I think PlayStation got them, and they showed a new IP, which is Days Gone. We had no clue about that. So that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts on Sony's conference? What did you like? What didn't you like? And yeah, man, just let me know. Yo, it's just a 20-minute video, bro. But I had to get all this shit off my head, off my mind. But yeah, yo, I'ma holla at y'all. She Attack out.